News, a service of Barong Insurance Agency. A hospital administrator talks about Medicaid cuts. That's the big story for 7:30. I'm John Matthews. Weatherford Regional Hospital is expecting to receive cuts in Medicaid funding, says Chief Executive Officer Darren Farrell. He told the Board of Trustees Monday about the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority preprint, which is an estimate of patient volume throughout the state who are treated under managed Medicaid. This year, the program cost submission was lower than compared to last year. Farrell discussed how the change may impact the facility.
Some of the estimates have shown that it could be up to about $509,000 per quarter. So if you'll remember, since the SHOP payments were enhanced, that was because of the DPP, the Directed Payment Program. And so every quarter, we've been receiving about $1.5 million from the Medicaid program. It could be that we lose about a third of that in this new budget.
Farrell says the Healthcare Authority has agreed to monitor patient volume to ensure the plan is accurate. The authority will consider amending plan to reflect any volume increases. The Weatherford City Commission has approved a proposal to increase capacity and staff hours at the Pioneer Center. Scott Harding is the executive director of the Eastern Oklahoma Development District, which recently took over the nutrition program.
One of the things that we've looked at immediately was how to make the program successful. However, we know there'll be some bumps along the road and those kind of things, but we're trying to figure out the ways that we can make this program successful long term.
Mayor Mike Brown says officials plan to add 30 extra meals per day between those who eat meals in person and those who are served by Meals on Wheels. An Elk City man who works at Subway at the Love's Travel Stop on Highway 66 in Elk City is charged with sexual battery and kidnapping. A court affidavit shows that 39-year-old Joshua Ray Britton Sr. allegedly tried to enter an occupied women's restroom stall. When the occupant opened the stall door, Britton rushed at her and attempted to close the door on her. That's when the victim began yelling for help and told police that Britton attempted to grab her as she fled from the restroom. The affidavit shows that Britton told officers he grabbed the woman by the waist and planned to ask her for sexual favors. Britton told officers that he's currently on probation for engaging in prostitution and the Computer Crimes Act. All lanes of east and westbound Interstate 40 will be closed at the US 281 spur, and the US 281 spur bridge over I-40 will also be closed from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. Monday and continuing nightly through mid-August for bridge demolition as part of the ongoing work in the area. Detours will be in place and include I-40 traffic to the off-ramps at the US 281 spur and back onto I-40. However, southbound US 281 spur will not have access to eastbound I-40. Traffic can detour using westbound I-40 to Methodist Road and back to eastbound I-40. The US 281 spur 2-lane bridge over I-40 is being replaced with a wider 5-lane bridge, adding dedicated left turn lanes for the on-ramps and reconstructed roadway sections leading to the ramp areas. The new bridge will also provide more clearance for taller vehicles, weather permitting. The project's anticipated to be complete this fall. We'll have more news coming up next.
Here's Jeff Barong.
We try to show our clients integrity, honesty, and compassion when we're working with them. You can get insurance all sorts of places. The most important thing for us, and it's knowing that you're getting not only really good service, but you're also getting the insurance know-how to make sure you're getting covered as best as the market is going to allow you to be covered.
For all types of insurance, it's Barong Insurance, the agency service-built Barong Insurance.
The American Solar Challenge is rolling into Elk City today. Students racing custom solar-powered cars from Minneapolis to Amarillo are stopping in Elk City. Meet them at the Elk City Museum Complex from 11:15 this morning until 8 o'clock tonight. They again roll out Saturday between 9 and 11 a.m. Dry conditions have had an impact on some county roads, says District 3 Custer County Commissioner Lyle Miller.
The heavy oil field roads are powdering out bad due to the dry weather. So if you're in those areas, be careful because we just can't hold them.
Miller shared the update during a commission meeting held earlier this week. Custer County is awaiting approval of an individual safe room grant through FEMA, says Emergency Management Director Hardy Spurley.
Once we get approved, We can put in 66 safe rooms in the ground for each individual home. And there's a couple of requirements with that. Like it can't be a rent home, something that's for profit. But there's a little bit of a process to go through it. It's a 75-25 match up to $5,000. So FEMA will cover 75% of the safe room cost, and the homeowner is responsible for 25%.
If approved, Spurley says the application process will begin for homeowners, and several public meetings will be held throughout the county regarding grant applications. Here's state news with the Radio Oklahoma Network.
News from the Radio Oklahoma News Network. I'm Ann Roberts. Questions surrounding the young Republican women of Oklahoma's financial records result in removal of the group's president. Radio Oklahoma's David McCollum with the details.
Brittany Anderson was removed last month as president following questions about how more than $6,000 was spent. The organization was formed last November and now, due to the possible mishandling of funds, will rebrand itself, according to the group's executive board.
A new emergency manager for the city of Tulsa, 28-year-old Tulsa Police Department veteran Adam Woodard, will assume the role late next month. In his new role, Woodard will be responsible for collaborating with federal, state, and local partners to maintain and develop Tulsa's emergency management functions and needs, ensuring the city is always able to respond quickly and effectively to all natural disasters and other emergencies. From the Radio Oklahoma News Network, I'm Ann Roberts.
News at 7:30. It's Service of Barong Insurance Agency. Coming up next, we'll look at local funeral notices after a word from Lee Hometown Funeral Home.
Most people don't even know where to begin when planning a funeral. Who wants to think about that anyway? So we put it off and often leave the burden on someone else. Or if the unexpected happens to a loved one, funeral arrangements are the last thing we want to think about. At Lee Hometown Funeral Home in Clinton, they will help you make funeral arrangements with compassion and understanding. Brandon Lee, the owner of Lee Hometown Funeral Home, understands the difference that locally owned and operated makes. Please visit Lee Hometown Funeral Home today at 1217 West Gary in Clinton.
Graveside services for 60-year-old Denise Renee Vasquez will be held today at 10 o'clock at the Greenwood Cemetery in Weatherford. She works in private home health services under the direction of Lockstone Funeral Home in Weatherford. A funeral mass for 92-year-old Joyce Maxine Simon will be held today at 10:30 at the St. Matthew Catholic Church in Elk City. Graveside services will follow at the St. Matthew Cemetery in Elk City. Services under the direction of Winnery Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Elk City. Graveside services for 79-year-old Lorinda Joy Skaggs will be held tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the Lone Oak Cemetery in Sayre. She worked as a school nurse for Oklahoma City Public Schools. Memorial service will follow at the Sayre First Baptist Church beginning at 11:30. Services under the direction of Winnery Funeral Service and Cremation Center in Elk City. Funeral services for 88-year-old Almeda Margaret Griffin will be held tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the Hydro United Methodist Church. She worked as a teacher. Burial will follow at the Bethel Cemetery in Hydro. Services under the direction of Turner Funeral Home in Hinton. Today's funeral notices are a service of Brandon Lee at Lee Hometown Funeral Home in Clinton.